Jordi Greek, and I'm here at Gimbab Records. Joie. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a joie vibe. Gimbab Records, Hago e Sumida. This is an album by Keith Jarrett's trio called Tribute from the 1980s, late 80s, and they're a great trio. Really had a good connection together, telepathy. They would never even plan what songs they were going to play. It would just be very kind of, because they knew, they're jazz musicians, they know 300, 400 standards, 500, hundreds of songs they all knew. And they would just spontaneously go from one to another. And this is one of the best recordings of this. It's a live album. And I actually bought this album recently on eBay, and it was a really good price. So I thought, that's nice. And then when I got it, I saw it's because I only had one of the discs. So someone tried to play a fast one, but who knows? Now I've got a whole disc, so I can listen to both the discs now. Happy days. So this is an album by Joe Henderson. I guess it's called Mirror Mirror, looks like. And it's with Chick Corea and Ron Carter and Billy Higgins. And to be honest, I've never had this album before. I just think it's a great lineup. And, looks very interesting. It says 1980 here. I don't know if that's when it was recorded or just released, who knows. But either way, it's a great lineup and very interesting. So I want to listen to this. Let's see what it's like. This is an album by a Cuban band called Eric Carey, and the album is just called Eric Carey, right? And they were a brilliant kind of salsa fusion band. It's led by this guy called Chucho Valdez, who's an amazing Latin jazz, whatever, keyboard player, piano. And he led this band which was very ambitious, where it's a mix of a lot of the different kind of Latin American genres of salsa and so on and all this, but then with much more of a jazz influence. So, they'll be playing nice rhythm, whatever, and then at a certain point, do some crazy unison line all together. So the whole horn section and keyboards and everything all doing is really complex. Whatever, and probably influence from bebop, jazz music and all this, But to hear it with the propulsion of this amazing rhythmic ensemble is just great. So yeah, this is a great album. And they went to do loads of albums and stuff and work with lots of different people. They won Grammys and stuff, and yeah, this is a great album. He was in Ashra Temple, which was a very influential, great kraut rock band, German band, and kind of crossing over into lots of ambient type of music and new age and all this stuff. And then it morphed into Ashra, which was even more ambient, even more electronic. And then, he started doing his own albums as well. This is one of them, and it's from the early 80s. And the whole interesting thing with this album, this is the front cover, I guess, and this is the back cover, I guess, he did the whole album in one take. So he was just jamming out, playing on his synthesizers and stuff, drum machines, and then made a good little loop, and added more elements and more elements, and then picked up the guitar and joined in with the guitar all in one go. So as long as it takes to listen to this album, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, that's how long it took him to make it. Because you just straight away thought, oh, that's quite good. But, you know, that's the thing with something seems too easy, you can doubt it and say, oh, I'm not sure, like that seems kind of fake or something. So he didn't release it for a few years because he was kind of thinking, well, I can't just release this thing I only did in half an hour. That's very low effort, you know. But eventually he thought, no, there is some power to this. There is something worthwhile in this, and he released it. This home recording essentially, and it actually ended up being one of the most influential albums of all time because basically almost all techno music is based on this album. So it was sampled so many times in lots of, you know, huge tracks in America and Detroit and all this. But yeah, so it's pretty insane that it's all just from something which is essentially just a jam recorded at home on a simple setup, simple tape machine and all this. But yeah, the thing is that the album is still, even though it's quite simple and quite repetitive, whatever, it's like there is some reason to keep listening. And there is some kind of thing very hypnotic about this album, and it has a special sound. If not most famous, still really, really famous because it's one of the only albums where Miles Davis appears as a supporting musician, as a sideman, you know? So for that alone, it's super famous, but the thing is, it's a great album anyway. It's brilliant performances. Everyone is playing great stuff and the band really works together. And Hank Jones as well is fantastic on the piano. But it's a brilliant album, and the reason I wanted to get this, there's not much to say. I mean, it's just very classic, great performances, great album. But it's also this original master recording is a company which does really high definition reissues of old albums and presses them in a very careful and very meticulous way. And I've never owned one of these, so I saw this and thought, this is a good opportunity to see if it's worth the extra investment, right? Because it's, you know, you have to play the record twice as fast, and the whole point is that it's extremely high fidelity. So let's see. I thought it was a good album to test that with, and I think it should be pretty classic.
Victims of drought and famine, fetuses abandoned, are waiting here to be admired. And at the center, set to expire, my punctured, bleeding heart of desire. Just for a moment, watch me please, watch my heart bleed.